everyone, welcome back to the Virtual Learning Labs. The Virtual Learning Labs, or the VLL, are a series of open access curated conversations that are aimed at tackling some of the upcoming areas of interest in the development sector. I have been in conversation with my colleague Raghav Raheja to talk a little bit about what does data readiness really mean for organizations in the non-profit sector. When I was doing my research for this discussion, I came across a video of the speaker from a marketing firm. He spoke about something very interesting. He said that data, it's always ready, it's always available, it's always right there. But the value of the data comes from its quality and the insights that you are able to generate from it. So, my next question is, why is it important for organizations in the sector to be able to assess their current levels of data readiness, and what are some of the possible insights that they can draw from it?
So yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I agree that data is everywhere, and it's upon us how we use it and find insight in it. I mean, the conversation that we're having right now, I would consider that as a data point, right? Of course, people who are looking into it, people who are listening to it, it's a data point for them. So agreed, completely agreed with that. The data points are everywhere. To come on to your actual question and understand, why organizations need to focus on data readiness. I mean, to answer that, I would use for-profit organizations as example. Why do these organizations need data? How are they using their data? Right? They're using their data to improve upon their algorithms. They're using their data to make their processes more efficient, right? And in our case, in terms of the organization, the non-profits, what is our algorithm? Our algorithm are the activities that we perform every day, right? So how do we improve that algorithm? We improve that by understanding if there are any deficiencies, if there are any gaps, and how do we identify those gaps? By continuously tracking that and evaluating these procedures. And we can only do that if we have some sort of structure in place, right? There's a huge concept around database management in a computer science, and we talk about setting up these exact design frames on where that data comes in, how is that data connected, and why is that important. Think about like dropping just water from the top. Where is that water going? If you don't have any bucket or any structure in place underneath, it's just spilling all over, right? And like you said, there's data everywhere. Again, that data is just spilled all across, right? How do I use that data, right? It becomes extremely difficult, and that's why we need some structure. We need some structure so that it's all there, we can just pick it up and use it. And that's why the organizations need to be data ready, need to have some sort of structure so that they can use this data points, use these data points to find insight, to drive their decision based on this data, right? Now, to answer your second question, what can organizations take from this conversation, right? So I would say that the first step in this whole procedure, in this whole data journey, is to evaluate their internal processes, right? And I would call that evaluation process as a data auditing process, right? It's similar to financial auditing. Like, what do we do in financial auditing? We look at what all financial documents are we maintaining in an organization? Are these financial documents in compliance with the standards, right? Similarly, in data auditing, we want to look at if we have enough data documents. So when I talk about data documents, I'm talking about these data sets, these data points that you're capturing, understanding different departmental data points that you're maintaining. Make sure that the data points that you're maintaining have a specific collection mechanism around it, right? Is it compliant with the standards? When I say compliant with the standards, I mean that if you're collecting data through surveys, pen and paper surveys, are you making sure that there's a validation check? Are you making sure that there's error proofing? So thinking about this mechanism, right? And it's like defining this right quotient. And this reminds me of a quote that Einstein said. And he said something like that: if I had 1 hour to solve a question, and the solution of that question decided the fate of my life, I would define 55 minutes to just frame the right question. I can solve the question, I can find the solution to the question within the next 5 minutes. And that's exactly similar in our situation. finding that data insight, finding that analysis, doing that analysis, creating dashboards, that's just that 5 minute task, but defining those structures, understanding the mechanism, how the data flows in those structures, that's that heavy 55-minute chunk of work. And I would say that should be one take for the organizations, all of them who are listening to this.
All right, thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you at our next virtual learning lab. Thank you.